O Show. This is the Big 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 O Show. This is
Be there, there, be there. 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 Be there, there, be there.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Furones, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house! Get out of the house!
Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
With more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes, Welton Rayom is committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle, slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. That's 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding. The viewpoints, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Howdy, howdy, howdy. Good morning, one and all. Hope you all are doing well and hanging in there. Yes, it is a Tuesday, March 26th. We got the Heat tonight. We got the Panthers tonight, which is put your head on a swivel. Although the good thing is we got a half-hour start from Panthers to Heat. So that's actually a good thing, even though I hate when they're both playing. Although I will admit the Panthers-Bruins game is way more sexier than the Heat Warriors. Well, let's just be honest. Panthers is just sexier than the Heat, period. That's all. It's a better product, overall. It's something, you've got like a real chance at winning, a championship. So it's kind of it's kind of like a real thing where the Heat is kind of like, the little engine that could, and you're just hoping that they could overcome and surprise the hell out of people. But tonight, we will watch both, and we will talk about it tomorrow morning here on Le Programme. By the way, next Wednesday, we'll be at the Youth Fair. It'll be our third broadcast, April 3rd. We'll be out there. Hopefully, all of you that ended up winning Family 4-packs, you're enjoying. I think they gave you Family 4-packs of entrance and unlimited rides, I think it was. So it was pretty cool. It was a really good deal. So we'll be there next week. Thursday will be, of course, at Hialeah Park, like we always are, with the Brunetti family out there having some fun. Steve Calabro and company. So we'll have some fun on Thursday. And then Friday we'll be out at Acura of Pembroke Pines. So just in case, if you want to see us and meet us somewhere, come on out. And yes, Kyle, yes, Bitcoin is over 70, but it went over 70 yesterday when it was on our show. So I'm expecting maybe 73, 74, 75,000 today. Let's go. What do you think? What do you think? Where does Bitcoin go in the next 2 hours, 3 hours while we're on here? Because we usually are on between noon and 1, as you all know. Sometimes I'll go to 1:30. Depends. Today will not be one of those days because there isn't that much to talk about. But what do you think? Right now, your own poll question, okay? Right now, you got to tell me, where does Bitcoin end now that the market just opened? By the way, where is the market? Because that's very important. Let's see. Is the market opening up in green? Barely. Dow Jones is up about 3%. S&P's up about 14%. And the NASDAQ is just over a point. So not a strong start by the market. That could obviously affect crypto. So, but what do you think? Where does Bitcoin go today? Up, down? Does it go into the 60s again? 69, 68, 67? Does it go to 71, 72, 73? I know we're hoping 75 plus. That's what we're hoping. Because then that means all the shorts will be busted and it'll go from 75 to 80, actually. It'll jump. But we needed to actually go up to about 73 to kind of bust the shorts. So we'll see. Take your guess. We'll have some fun throughout the show, obviously, as always. What else do we have going on? We got the NFL owners meetings too. We'll see if any kind of Dolphin news comes out of it. Don't know if it will, because really, what are they going to say? You know, you're not really going to get much. So even if any of the folks at the top start talking, it's just going to be kind of, company lines and stuff like that. Let's see what we got on the roll call. Steven Gonzalez is in first. Radio host in. Says Big O and the crew of the Truth Ship Enterprise. Jamie Zorria out in San Jose, as always, and reminding everybody to smash the hell out of that like button, please. Don't forget to hit the notification bell, subscribe, all of that good stuff. It's very important. Cosa Nostra. How many of us fans of the movie Happy Gilmore? Yeah, that's a cool movie. It's a funny movie. Joseph is in. One-Eyed Jack. I think the kickoff rule change is good. It is. We talked about it already. The XFL kickoff. Yeah, it's crap what they have now, right? You're just kicking it out of the end zone, so there's no returns. So at least now you get some kind of a return. Look, man, the days of, some of you that are young, you didn't really experience it, but those of us that are older, we watched them play through the whistle. And, we watched Lyle Alzado step on people, and we would laugh about it. Back in the day, that's kind of what it was. We were laughing at these brutal collisions, and we wanted to see more because that's what we are as a society. And, it's been like that since the days of the Roman gladiators. But those days are done. Obviously, the gladiators. But what I mean is they're going to try to take out as much of the collision. So since the collision was taken out of the return game, the XFL came up with a really cool return idea where there's still some skill to it. You still can scheme it, and if you break somebody free, they gone. I mean, gone, because you're so overcommitted. So you better be perfect. So this is actually, at least there's something there. Okay. And before you had absolutely nothing, that's where we ended up. So if we're going to get to that point, then at least let's do this. This is a little better. So I love the change for the new kickoff rule. It gives us something to watch now. And I think that's actually pretty cool. Yes, sir.
Did they end up leaving it at the 30 on the kickoff? Because the XFL actually had an extreme rule where if you kicked it and it was a touchback, the other team got the ball at the 40.
Yeah, no, I don't think they got that. I don't think they inherited
the NFL went to the 30. I believe they went to the 30. So yes. A little bit more of a, because it was the 25 for a touchback. Now they get 5 more yards. So
yeah, but at least
the
act of getting some kind of a return, and the better coaches might be able to scheme something up, dude. They might see a weakness in somebody else and whatever, and so here you go. By the way, I'll give you a little nugget out of all of that. You've taken the collisions out of it. Who's to say you don't have Tyreek in those kind of situations, and Waddle and a Chan? Not Mostert because he carries a lot, so he doesn't need that. And obviously, Waddle and Tyreek would be in special situations. But this kind of adds the element of, hey, man, now we kind of need a returner that maybe somebody that is shifty enough that can read and react quickly. And if we have somebody like that that can somehow break free, they're done. They're done. Because the kicker ain't stopping you. So once you get past that wall, brother, you're queen. I want to break free. And you're gone. You history. So that'll be fun. That adds an element that maybe at least the collisions aren't that bad, so you can have those kind of players in those situations too. All right. Joseph, we're doing good. No doubt. Joseph Fontina, Alexis Palenzuela, Kyle Cockrell, A-Rod in, John Padilla. Let's hope ODB signs the contract today. No, like I reported that there's no imminent signing. Okay. Let's see. Kelly Swanders says we don't need that bum. Gus 1388, Coach AJ, Chad, Drago, Gordon Shumway. Mr. Rojas says it's a pleasure to watch you and spend my 56th birthday this morning with the best sports, not financial advisor, not a dietitian, podcaster, and of course the best podcast producer. Damn right. You got one of them right. Best podcast producer out there. Damn right. But thank you for the kind words, my brother. I appreciate you. Happy birthday to you, my man. 56. Damn. This year I celebrate 58 on October 1st. So 56 for you, and every day is a blessing for us, man. You know what I'm saying? But my new plan is that I'm going to be as light as I've been and in the best shape I've been in a long, long time by the time I get to October 1st. So that'll be cool because I'll have full movement of my foot and everything and all that kind of stuff. So that'll be cool. But, man, that is awesome. 56th birthday, man. That is fantastic, man. That is awesome, Oscar. Have a great day. Enjoy a cold one. Enjoy the perfect day, dude. You deserve it. Cap for Life is in. Ray Varnicus. Oscar, by the way, added the man, the myth, the legend in Sean Stanley. Have a blessed day. There you go. Kyle Cockrell, I think it will keep pumping. Yeah, I think so too. There's gonna be this nasty ass pump that is gonna freak the world out, and we're gonna get one of those. We're gonna get an Omega candle, or a God candle, right? 10K. The Omega candle is 100K. The 10K candles are already happening all over the world. I don't know if you guys know that. In other countries, the 10K candles are like happening. In fact, I think in India, they had like 4 of them. So that's how much Bitcoin is moving around the world. Obviously, their currency is much more devalued than ours, which, ours is pretty bad. Theirs is even worse. And so it's gone crazy. So we have had that 7, that 6, that 7,000, 8,000. I don't know if 8. I think we've had 7 something, pretty close to 8. But we're going to get that 10,000 candle. That one day it's going to move 10 grand easily. And in the future, it's going to move 10 grand even more often. You know what I'm saying? So Hong Kong's going to kick in their ETFs next month. They're kicking in their Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs. You know how much money is going to be pouring into that shit? Oh my God. So, and then the halving will happen already at that point. And then we're gonna have. I mean, there's a gold mining company that just said they're gonna buy 25,000 Bitcoin, 24,800, which is like 1.7 billion Bitcoin. Shrinkage. Shrinkage is not good for us when we're in a cold pool, right? Or a cold environment. That's not good for us guys. Okay. But shrinkage is good in Bitcoin because there's going to be a lot less. And that's going to just, bam, price is going to explode. And when people start seeing God candles or Omega candles, they're going to freak out. They're going to freak out. You'll see. So we shall follow. We shall follow. Right now it's at 70,332. So it's holding over 70,000. One Eye Jack's got 73. Yeah, the P Diddy. Have you guys seen the P Diddy stuff? Wow. I mean, this is great because finally this scumbag, they're going to catch up to his ass for all the crap that he's been, doing. This is the same stuff of many other abusers in history, okay? And people that get in power then start doing the shit that they start doing, whether you're Jeffrey Epstein, whether you're Harvey Weinstein, whether you're what's the R&B singer, R. Kelly, or you're P. Diddy, whatever the hell that scumbag's calling himself now. And so that was a story that was, for some people, you saw Cassie's lawyer come out, and Cassie's lawyer, the problem with Cassie was after you made the accusations, you then just took the money and shut the hell up. That was the sad part, that you really didn't go after him like you should have. And then now you've got a non-disclosure. So there's the lawyer, not Cassie, talking. And so the lawyer then said, because he of course doesn't sign the what is it, the NDA? It said now it's not. Wait a minute, where is it? Okay, here we go. What you sow, you shall reap. I pray for the emboldens of all the U.S. victims to finally speak on what we have endured. And then what else? Here it goes. The lawyer, Douglas Weiger. We will always support law enforcement when it seeks to prosecute those that have violated the law. Hopefully, this is the beginning of a process that will hold Mr. Combs responsible for his depraved conduct. Okay? So, there you go. Anyway, so this story is crazy. Now he flew to, where is it? Cape Verde, right? Where they don't have extradition laws. And so now I don't know if he's hiding out and if he's going to do the, what was that name? Polanski? Was it Roman Polanski, right? That hid away for a long time. Didn't Roman Polanski hide away from it? If I'm correct. Arrested for drugging and raping a 13-year-old girl. He pleaded guilty to a lesser charge of unlawful sex with a minor in exchange for probation-only sentence. The night before his sentencing hearing in 78, he learned that the judge would likely reject the plea deal, so he fled the U.S. to Europe, where he continued his career. He remains a fugitive from U.S. justice. Further allegations, yada, yada, yada. So, kind of like that, like Polanski. This is nothing different, bro. This has nothing to do with color. This has nothing to do with religion. This is always men of power. Okay? Although I don't know, Lizzo might have been woman of power too. I don't know if that's true what she did. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Because that sounded pretty kind of like what they do. So it's just one of those things that, you know, what Diddy's doing is the same thing that many other people do, and they get away with it, or hopefully you end up catching them, you know, when it's all said and done. But obviously, with him running and that video that they show in TMZ that he's pacing just outside Opalaka Airport there, and that's because he's pacing like, I need to get on that plane, I need to get on that plane, I need to get on that plane, you know. And so he got on that plane and he was able to get the hell out of there, you know. So he was kind of a step ahead in that sense that he was able to get away. But this is one crazy ass story, right? And the only way you get to him is, you know, the way of Putin, you know, that if one of his victims is of someone of power, then send somebody for a, you know, kind of a, you know, takes him out. So I don't know, but all his stuff here is going to be confiscated. So I don't know what he did. I don't know if he moved any money and whatever, but we're going to find out now more and more because it's harder to hide now. And by the way, if you're out in Cape Verde, maybe there isn't an extradition, but there's going to be media and there's going to be people going to try to track you down, you know? So this is only the beginning of this story. Hopefully they bring him, you know, to justice, because clearly he's guilty of some dirty stuff. I don't know exactly what, but he's clearly, you know, he's been getting away with a lot of shit for a long time. So hopefully karma will catch up to him and he gets what he deserves. But that is one crazy story, dude. Yeah. Greer's going to say who we're drafting. Yeah, exactly. And people still trying to write about, well, you know, would Tua hold out and all that? Boy, you are desperate for clicks and reading, and boy, space there, because that is just hot air, brother. Rosendo is in. Brandon. Johnny D. Loving that Bitcoin rise. Jay Gelfin, did you hear about yes, I saw the Francis Scott Bridge, and our prayers, obviously, to the folks in Baltimore. I posted the video of the second one, if you look, that I posted. It's with the cars actually going by, and it shows it as the boat loses power, and then it drifts right into the Scott Key Bridge, the Francis Scott Key Bridge. And then it just collapses. And God, I don't know how many people we've lost. I read before I got on that they were able to save somebody that was uninjured, but I know that they're in the middle of the rescue, and obviously it's very key to their apparently they're not going to be able to get any new cars going through there also, all that kind of stuff. So not only is it a tragedy where you lose lives, obviously, but at the same time, it also sets their, you know, economy back, because now the bridge is in the way and it just causes all kinds of problems. And so it's just one problem that mounts on top of another. But obviously right now it's all about trying to save lives. But it is a crazy story. And so far, they say that there's no act of terrorism. It's just the boat lost power, and it started drifting instead, and it drifted right into the bridge, and it knocked the bridge down. I mean, just crazy stuff, man. Really crazy stuff. Yeah, I saw that. That is scary. Absolutely scary. Kyle Cockrell is in. Donardo Joseph, Greg Souza, Gordon says, "Oh, do you think this is the end of the squib kick? Also, I think this will put more emphasis on hang time on kickoffs." Yeah. Big O, have you talked about Otani yet? We kind of went by it yesterday. I saw the press conference, and this is what I'll tell you. Okay, I think they're all full of shit. I think Otani's a liar. I think he knew about this. I think he was part of it. I think this is Greg Anderson part 2. And this guy will go away quietly. He'll take his punishment just like Greg Anderson did, because I'm sure Barry Bonds took care of him. And Otani's going to do the same thing. So there has to be a fall guy, right? Isn't that what Chris Carter said? You got to have a fall guy. Well, if you got to have a fall guy, Otani was reading the Chris Carter manual of how to screw up. Now, the best part about it is, did you see what Pete Rose said? Now, I am not a fan of Pete Rose, the person. The baseball player was amazing, great to watch. The person, he's dog shit, okay? So that's my opinion, okay? I don't think he's a good person. I think he's a terrible person. But you know, I can't disagree with him on this one. He says, back in the 70s and the 80s, I wish I had an interpreter. I'd be scot-free. And that's basically, it was a statement read by another interpreter, and there's no real Q&A, and, this will be investigated. I don't know how much access they'll have, but this is dirty. This is dirty to high. Look what's going on with the Raptor, right? I mean, that moron was fixing, player props. What an idiot. I mean, the level of king-size stupidity in this world. So I think Otani is guilty as hell, dude. I think this is some dirty shit. But baseball, what are they going to do? Suspend their best player? What are they going to do? Trash their best player? Ruin his entire image? Because that's what will happen. You know what I'm saying? Because if this becomes a real betting scandal, and maybe it will, maybe the investigation, maybe some independent investigator snoops, okay, and finds out the real scoop of what's going on. So that could happen. But baseball's not going to do it, because this is the most important player in their game. And this would be so devastating to the game if this guy is caught as a cheater. So that statement he put out, horseshit. Absolute horseshit. Okay? Just crap. Means nothing. It's almost as important as a messy press conference. Oh, wait. Does that even happen? Anyway, so that's my 2 cents on Otani. What else do we have? Ocala Joe is in the house. Cash the Jeweler. I like the possible OBJ move. He's your fourth option. He'll beat the defenders 7 out of 10 times. Yep. Agree. Flat Earth 420 is in. Lenny Pena. Brian Radke says, good morning to all. Good time to grab some shrapnel altcoin. There you go. Good for you. Good for you. I like shrapnel. There you go. B-Rob is in the house. I'll be 46 in 2 weeks. All right, B-Rob. Nice job by you, sir. 4-6. Flat Earth, the big Mike. Hey, Thaler. Osho. You know, I still can't find that. I looked and I looked and I looked and I can't find it. Sucks. Really sucks. Because it's funny. And it's what's his name again? From Saturday Night Live. I'm forgetting now. But anyway. Captain Saki out in Tarpon Springs. Out here grinding, trying to catch these people a few fish. Have to watch the show later. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Captain Saki. Lisa Rose. Oscar says El Salvador has doubled down on their Bitcoin. Is there any way we can elect a smart president like him? No, we don't. We cannot. No, we elect morons. We elect morons that print money and devalue the hard-earned money that you work for. Yeah. Oh, by the way, just what's the tally? Oh, hey, send Furones a link there. My bad. I guess I didn't send it to him. And send Manny one too. My bad. Anyway, the Cash App experiment. You guys haven't donated lately, so it's good. We're at $633.57, so we're up $43. Okay. $43. So for those of you that don't know, I wanted to show you, and I don't know if that does it. Doesn't focus in. You can't see, you can't read the numbers, right? Can't read it's 633.37 right now. Anyway, so I wanted to show you guys, those of you, maybe some of you didn't tune in yesterday and you're tuning in now. I did a little experiment and I bought this last dip here. I had some money saved. I was going to use it for altcoins like shrapnel and make a little more money, but that's all right. That's all right because I think I'm still going to make money here, but at the same end, I'm going to get more Bitcoin and just stash it in my cold storage wallet eventually. But I'm going to keep it here on Cash App for now. Okay. Cause I want you guys, I want you to see it grow. And so what I did was when it dipped into 62, 65, 66, I even bought it at 70. Okay. And so I bought $590 of it. Okay. Just here in the 60s, high 60s, but just to kind of show you. Okay. And it's already up $43. So, you know, if you put $590 in your bank, can you buy more a week later or less a week later? Can you buy more 6 months later or less? Let's see here at $590, I already have $43 extra dollars. And it's going to grow more. So I'll have more money to buy more things. I'm just trying to kind of show you. So we're going to track that experiment and have some fun with it. Okay. All right, let's get to a little football talk. Let's talk a little Miami Dolphins with our Welt and Rayon Miami Dolphins report with the one and only David Furones.
All rise, football fans, as the Welt and Rayon Miami Dolphins report with David Furones is in session.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They are committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. Here's Miami Dolphins insider David Furones.
By the way, before I start with David, Cap for Life, no, it's fine to buy in Cash App. It's actually great. You can actually move it to your cold storage wallet. It's really convenient buying it on Cash App, and they actually give you a fair price. Okay? So, no, it's a good thing to buy it on Cash App. It's really convenient. That's how I'm doing it now. So I buy it on Cash App, and then I just move it to my cold storage wallet. Okay? That's what I'm doing. So, in fact, just for experiment purposes, I ended up opening up another Cash App account just so I can keep buying Bitcoin on the side and send it to my cold storage, just so I don't ruin the experiment that we're doing. All right. How you doing, my man? How you feeling? Where you at? A hotel room?
Yeah. I got my hotel for another hour and a half or so. So I was there very early this morning, left my stuff at the room, got some work done, got some interviews done, threw up a story, coming back. So then I'll head back once I have, everything in my car before I drive back from Orlando back home. So
Are you guys talking to Greer today or tomorrow, or what's the deal?
Yeah, I don't think we're getting Greer. Maybe we're striking out on that. I know he spoke at owners' meetings 2 years ago. There was a big offseason of Tyreek Hill, Teron Armstead, all that. We didn't get him last year, even though there was a big move of Jalen Ramsey. Obviously owners' meetings is always that right after that first wave of free agency. So you don't get him again until the draft. You just got him at the combine before all the moves in free agency occurred. So it's a good time to hear from him. So we're still kind of crossing our fingers that maybe we do get a media availability with him, but seeming unlikely at this point.
Yeah, he ain't going to tell you shit anyways.
Well, we did have a nice conversation. There's always at league meetings, there's always the Monday night reception sort of in the middle of the two big days here. And, it's not like an on the record interview type setting conversation, but, nice to just chat a little bit. We saw him, Mike McDaniel, of course, who's always very gregarious. So, and always stealing the show, to shoot the shit with him is always fun. Brandon Shore was out there. I've seen Steve Ross in passing. So good to just kind of, see them around a little bit, see them around the meetings and all that.
Yeah. What did you, anything newsy out of it? Because the Tua holdout stuff, that's silly. He's not holding out. That's just ridiculous. That's just to write a story to write a story. The Wilkins stuff, I guess, kind of expected what he said. I don't know. What did you get out of it that was maybe newsy?
Yeah. I mean, McDaniel did say, we have him on record talking about offering Odell Beckham Jr. The Dolphins made an offer to him. So obviously we expected it after a visit and the interest that's being shown on both sides. So, we do have him on record saying that. And that from his understanding, Odell Beckham has other options and that two sides are going to take their time and that Mike McDaniel, of course, would love to coach him. So I think the fit would be there. Obviously, we talked about that on Friday. If Odell were to join, especially as a wide receiver 3 in this receiving core, with Tua throwing the ball, McDaniel's system, it would all really mesh well together. Still got to see that play out. And
as we reported, my brother, no deal imminent. Okay,
so right. Yeah, you heard it first on the Big O show.
Yeah, it's just their deal's not. There's still some stuff to be worked out, and it's for him that he has to work it out because he has to come to the grips of I'm playing on for a lot of incentives now. Instead. So it's just kind of changed. The dynamics have changed for him. Nobody's out there offering him a ton of money. So the other deals, it's just comparing the incentives, what's realistic. And then I would imagine state tax comes into play, and that's where his lawyer's doing the math for him, saying, okay, this is what you can realistically make out of this deal and this deal. And then I'm sure they go back to the negotiating table and try to squeeze him for a little bit more if they can, that kind of stuff.
And once you take all those things into consideration and do the math on that, the state income tax, everything else, it comes down to how bad do you want to be in Miami as opposed to the other locations. Maybe there's still some ground that needs to be made up even when you go through those equations. But then is this where you want to be? Do you want to be that third receiver in Mike McDaniel's offense with Tua throwing you the ball? And, it being open often because you're with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. They're going to attract a lot of attention. So you're going to get your opportunities as a wide receiver 3 here. And right now, sure, I think it's that he still got his money last year, or 1 year, $15 million. Then, so he's still sort of in that mindset. But you're in your 30s. You got to come to grips with it and understand you haven't been a Pro Bowler since 2016. Last 1,000-yard season was 2019. So, this is a new it's not that superstar Odell Beckham Jr. that everyone's going after. This is a different type of Odell Beckham at this point.
You hear anything on the Odell side?
Well, just I mean, I feel the same way. Is that the Dolphins won't be offering any extraordinary amount to get to. I mean, they're in this trying to get the bargain deal as they've operated throughout this offseason. A lot of the deals they have come up with it. So it would be another veteran signing that try to get something like rekindle something that he has shown previously, get him at a lower rate than you would have had to get him in previous seasons, and see if you can bring some of it back. So I think that's sort of where they're at with Odell.
Anything else stand out from the conversation yesterday, McDaniel?
Yeah, I mean, well, there was so much from it. So yeah, he touched on some of the signings. Really, we didn't get to too many of them because 30 minutes with McDaniel runs out quick with how long-winded he can be.
The hums and the pregnant pauses and all that. Yeah, that's kind of.
And then also you got all these other guys from other markets trying to ask, like, someone's asking a Jerome Baker question, someone from Seattle's coming in, and all that. But yeah, I mean, he had good things to say about Jordan Poyer. I'll be writing about that looking back into it. The Tua stuff was very important. The Odell Beckham stuff was the most newsworthy, and then Christian Wilkins and Rob Hunt, sort of their departures. He talked about just the relationships that were built and how those don't have to be fractured just because there is a business side of it, and yeah, I mean, it seems like guys leave the Dolphins on good terms, which gives you an overall sense of that this is a quality organization that even when guys are leaving and on their way out, it never has to be burning bridges and being sort of taking your shots toward the end. Guys leave on good terms, and that's a sign of a class organization, the way they're running right now.
Yeah. As for the Tua deal, I just kind of get the feeling that it's going to happen, more in the summer, where that's where it finally kind of gets done. And instead of, everybody's so worried about a timeline, I don't think it's a timeline thing. I think it's more of a structure thing. When you're doing this, both parties are all in. So I think it's more about working out all the details and all that kind of stuff. And so I kind of almost get the feeling that this thing's just going to drag on because that's the way it is with quarterback contracts. And I don't think this gets done before the draft. I think this gets done maybe as the X money becomes available right around then. What do you think?
Yeah, and not necessarily that the two are correlated in any way, but just as far as timeline potential on the calendar, sure, yeah, I see it as a summer just because there are so many little intricate details. I don't think it has anything to do with whether one side really wants to, whether they're committing and all that. I think both sides are committed to it. The Dolphins want to do it. Tua wants to be here. It's the right system for him. It's a good marriage to maximize both sides of it. So, yeah, I think so. Oh, also, I mean, you wanted interesting things we got from McDaniel. So we have a name on Tua's second child, Mazey, Mazey. He said, because his quote was, I had to pull it up, in talking about that he'll be at OTAs. The one thing that he likes to do in his life, besides be a kick-ass dad to Ace and Mazey, is play football with his teammates. So, yeah, which we know. He's not going to be skipping out OTAs. But Jalen Phillips, Bradley Chubb updates. We got those out of McDaniel as well, and how McDaniel wants to take sort of the similar approach as with Jalen Ramsey. Don't give him a timeline. It's about you getting better, you getting healthy. So we're not aiming, hey, we want you back for week one, even though, of course, everyone's hopeful of that and going to be hopeful. But it's we want you right so that you could play the full slate of games, not one game.
All right, so does it look, since they are looking for another receiver, it didn't just end with Berrios, do you think they still will go for another receiver if the Odell thing falls through? Or do they say, all right, no, that was the one shot we were going to take to bring in an extra receiver. If not, we're going to stay with what we got and get into the draft, and then we'll figure things out after that. How do you think that break? What's your best guess for that?
Well, there should be another receiver, and it could be the draft. So it's not like it has to be through free agency, and it could be you let the first wave of free agency before the draft play out, and then maybe if you strike out on the Odell deal, then see what if a BPA sort of equation works best for a wide receiver, and you end up with a wide receiver in the draft, then you can take care of it that way. Or then, if guys are sticking around later into the summer, then you can wait till that X money comes in, $18.5 million post June 1, and then maybe you address that later on. But certainly I believe they are looking for a true wide receiver 3, with then giving Barrios his shot to do his thing, but not necessarily as the surefire wide receiver 3. River Craycraft brought back, so give him opportunities to play his way into playing time. Eric Ezukanma next year, if you can get something out of him. But I feel like the Dolphins do want a guy who will be the solidified wide receiver 3, similar to how it ended up being Cedric Wilson really last year, and then now he's gone. So trying to upgrade at that spot.
Yeah, although I think the third receiver here becomes really the fourth option, because Jonnu Smith, I think, becomes the third option. Yeah. Actually, I think Jonnu Smith's going to get a lot of. So whether you're Odell or Barrios, I think you should be sharing with the running backs, the receiving. That should be your fourth option. It should be obviously Tyreek and the running game, and Waddle in the running game, and Jonnu in the running game, and then you get to that fourth option, which is the third receiver and the running backs. That's kind of the way I think the offense should break down anyway. So really, your third receiver is not really going to be the third option all the time.
Oh, yeah. Far from third option, because it's the run game that really the Dolphins have to commit to, not like we saw 2 years ago, and then also short yardage situations, situationally using it correctly. And then, you added a tight end that's going to be active in the passing game. And obviously, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle are going to get their lion's share. So, whoever's brought in, they have to understand where they will stand in this offense.
Yeah, I'm with you there. All right, what do you got going on in the Sun Sentinel so folks can check you out, my man?
Yeah, just this morning, talking to a lot of NFC coaches. This morning was the NFC coach availability. So talked to just about everyone that has some connection to a Dolphins free agency move. So got a great quote, Todd Bowles talking about Shaq Barrett, that he's going to be a steal for the Dolphins. Great Dan Campbell line on Benito Jones saying, we got him from Miami. He goes back to Miami. Glad we could develop him for you guys. And now he's a starter. He goes to you guys. And then also Dave Canales, new Panthers coach, he was talking about why they valued Rob Hunt the way they did. Got that in a story on the Sun Sentinel. Talked to Kevin O'Connell, Minnesota, talking about Andrew Van Ginkel, his flow connection, and all that. So pretty comprehensive coverage from NFC availability with the Dolphins storylines intertwined.
What'd you read into X not having any issues or talking well about flow? What'd you read into that?
Oh, yeah. Well, X is a real dude. So, and Flo, he's a tough coach. So, he broke it down the way how real it is that, okay, he's going to be hard on you. And then when you do something right, he's still not going to be patting you on the back all the time. It's no, you were supposed to do that. So I think that X, he speaks honestly, candidly, and he gave you the real of what he had experienced with Flo. And obviously I think a lot of guys do respect him, especially on the defensive side, just because of that style, that demeanor that he presents.
So you don't think it was that he needed a job, and so he's got to make sure he's –
No.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
If I'm X, I'm not speaking bad about any coach on any team that could be a potential suitor, especially one that I have previous experience with, and he wanted Andrew Van Ginkel too. So right along those same lines, I would imagine Flo could value X. So yes.
Well, I don't know if you would value X. I'm just saying X is smart by not trashing Flo, even if he wanted to, because he needs a job. Mm-hmm. So, I'm just saying it just, kind of convenient too, also at the same time. All right. Follow him on Twitter at David Furones _. Catch his work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. David, as always, thank you, my brother. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You got it. Welton Rayom, call my guys, Jeff and Dan. They are absolutely awesome. And I'm pretty much getting ready. Maybe in another month or two, I'll be going on a stunt plane with Daniel Rayom. That'll be fun. Jeff Welt is awesome. Big music guy. And by the way, loves the Canes, loves the Dolphins, loves the hometown teams. Bankruptcy, homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury. Call my friends at Welt and Rayom, 954-966-4646.
This has been another session of the Welton Rayom Miami Dolphins Report with David Furones. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help.
Roderick says, Sean, the temperature in the water of Baltimore is 48 degrees, I believe. So on top of everything else, the water is very cold. So you're talking about hypothermia as well. I know. It's just scary shit. Bitcoin pre-halving rallies in progress began with the full moon last night. That's what XJ says. Oh, man. Dougie Fresh says, how do you say I misremembered in Japanese? The old Roger Clemens line. Diddy pulls a McAfee, uses his dirt to keep his life going. Yep. Franklin Stubbs, Cash the Jeweler. My partner is a Jets fan and swears we're in a rebuild. That's stupid. And you know, I've heard that from some Dolphin fans and maybe even some media members that are writing it. There's no rebuild here, dude. That's the dumbest thing that any Dolphin fan could think of. Mike McDaniel and Chris Greer don't have time for a rebuild. They'll get their asses fired. Their job is to win games and get into the playoffs and start winning playoff games. The offseason is not an excuse. The offseason was a fiscal decision that you had to make, because if you're a smart enough fan, you're intelligent enough to say, well, okay, you understand there's a cap. You can't keep everybody. So they're going, as I've explained many times already, they think it's more important to keep the next wave of players, not this wave of players. They feel they can overcome this one. And so guess what they have to do now? That's their freaking job. Overcome Rob Hunt and overcome Christian Wilkins. You can't? Too bad, so sad. You got to be held to that standard. That's the part that there's a misunderstanding here. You know? And it's up to McDaniel to become a better coach. A much better coach. And as I've told you, this team will be better flat out if you just get a little luck and you stay healthy. But there's no rebuild going on. I'm not expecting less from the Dolphins. I need to see them start winning playoff games. So I need a couple things to start falling into place. Health is one, and the other one's McDaniel. They have enough talent. Everything else is fine. It's up to you to coach it up now. That's all. Show me coaching. That's what I need to see from Mike McDaniel. I have not seen that from McDaniel. I don't see him adjust in second halves at all. When they figured him out, and he doesn't have a counter. He must suck at chess, by the way. So I need to see improvement from within. You haven't done enough from within the last couple of years. You need to do more, but you need to stay healthy also. So if you're not healthy, I can't ask for too much. But if you're healthy, there's no rebuild. Okay? The last 2 years have been freakish with the injuries, and it has hurt the hell out of this team. I have to give that the break. I have no choice because those are facts. But if you're healthy, you're better than you were the last 2 years. So start winning playoff games. There's no rebuild here. And they should be held to the same standards that you were expecting. Get to the playoffs and win some playoff games. And if they're healthy, there'll be no more. There are no excuses. You're somewhat healthy. You're not going to be perfectly healthy because that's impossible. But if you're only missing a couple guys and not missing freaking 8, 9 guys, your entire offensive line or your entire secondary or whatever, you got to start winning. So forget about there's nothing about rebuild here at all for the Miami Dolphins. That's the craziest thing out there. Anybody that says rebuild, that's an excuse. That's you trying to avoid your responsibility of making this franchise a winner in the postseason. El Salvador president is a G, bro. It must be protected at all costs. I mean that. Well, dude's buying a Bitcoin every day. He's been doing it for a while now. Dustin Ross is at the JFK airport flying to Dubai here shortly for the Dubai World Cup. Looking forward to a good weekend of horse racing. Florida Derby also this weekend at Gulfstream. There you go. Dustin, safe travels, my friend. Thank you for tuning in. There's like 1 or 2 million Bitcoin that is lost and will never be found. It's on the chain, but most likely lost forever because it hasn't moved since the birth of Bitcoin. Yep. Yes. Let's see. You can't create another Cash App account. Don't be surprised if they close it. Who says you can't? Why can't you? It's connected to another bank account. Makes no sense what you're saying. If you have multiple bank accounts, you can have multiple Cash Apps accounts. Whatever, bro. Bill's fake crowd noise. WW2 Foo Fighters? I don't know what that means. Cycles like this, you almost can't miss, but keep in mind a cycle does end. Yeah, but it's not going to end for a while, Lofi. And by the way, I don't know about Bitcoin being a cycle anymore. I think it's a permanent thing because it's a finite amount. So I don't think it'll have the same kind of cycles. I don't think the dips are going to be the same. I disagree on Bitcoin. I disagree. Everything else, yes. Ethereum and Polygon and whatever, Algorand, whatever you're buying. Yes, I completely agree. Bitcoin, I don't think so. You're watching countries hold it now. No, they're going to start using it for their reserves. So I don't think this will be a cycle. I think Bitcoin is in a super cycle. The rest of crypto will get cycled off. But Bitcoin, I don't know about that. I have my questions on that one. So, let's see. Oh, are you going to do an entire show while flying in the stunt plane? That would be funny, by the way. And I'll be throwing up and all that kind of stuff. Big old Miami should consider bringing home Calais Campbell. Is he still going to play or is he retired? Bro, Calais Campbell is like 56 years old. Okay? I mean, he is old, bro. X going to say anything needed to get his next bag. That's right. Orlando, touch on Jazz Chisholm news yet? But I mean, dude, what is there to talk about with Jazz Chisholm? What, that Miguel Rojas was busting your balls or something and you weren't happy with it or whatever, and that now you're happy with the locker room and all that kind of stuff. Bro, get on the field and keep your fragile ass on the field and play the goddamn game, dude. I don't give a shit about any of the other stuff. Too many people waste their time writing articles and talking bullshit about this. Who cares? Miguel Rojas isn't here. Jazz is. And Jazz, my brother, you are a massive disappointment. We know you have the potential. We know you can be a stud. But the only thing I give a shit with Jazz Chisholm is, brother, can your body hold up? That's it. Outside of that, I don't give a shit what Jazz Chisholm was feeling. I don't give a shit about his feelings. I don't give a shit about Tyler Hero's feelings. I've been talking about that for months with Ira Winderman. I don't give a shit about your feelings. You need to come off the bench, mofo. And I don't give a shit about Jazz Chisholm and his little sensitive self, and that Miguel Rojas was busting his balls. You know what I say to Jazz Chisholm? Stay on the goddamn field. That's what I say to him. Dude, shut up. Play the game. Give me 145, 155, 160 games. Impress me with durability, with consistency, with availability. That's what I want you to impress me with. Not your mouth, bro. Not your chains, not your swag, not the video game, none of that shit. I don't want to hear a goddamn thing from Jazz Chisholm. I want to see him playing some sweet music with that bat for 155 games. After that, you can talk all you want. Whatever Jazz Chisholm says right now, it's like the Peanuts teacher. Want. It don't mean shit to me. Jazz Chisholm doesn't mean shit to me until he knows how to stay on the field. Tyler Hero doesn't mean shit to me until he can actually play 75 games a year. So until those two stop stealing money, I don't want to hear about their feelings. I don't want to hear about their playing time. I don't want to hear about anything. You know why? They don't have a right to say shit. That's what it is. Tyler Hero needs to shut the hell up, do whatever he's told, and toughen up. And Jazz Chisholm needs to shut the fuck up, toughen up, and play the goddamn game. Okay? Stop stealing money. That's what they need to stop doing. Stop being weak, soft, broken, fragile. That's what they need to stop doing. Okay? Jazz Chisholm and Tyler Hero, two fucking thieves. Hour number 2 is next.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
Be there.
viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. If you're a Miami sports fan, there's only one store to go to, and that's Canes Wear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2655 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Canes Wear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop. Time for Canes fans to get what they want. Information, insight, and perspective. It's the Canes Wear Miami Hurricanes Report with Manny Navarro, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. Here's Big O and insider Manny Navarro.
All right, bro, before we get to eating some chips, I got to ask you about something here. And good morning, sir.
Good morning to you.
We're watching some dumbass baseball player do what Pete Rose did, except he has an interpreter.
Right.
Then we're watching.
To blame it on.
Right. Exactly. I mean, that shit is so fishy. It's just like it's like really, it's disgusting. And then in Toronto, we got some idiot that's kind of like trying to fix his player props, and so obviously that dude needs to be banned from the damn league. What is college football doing now that there's a lot of money, NIL involved, and all of those kind of things? What are they doing to try to avoid any of this kind of stuff? Because I know that like the NFL has those things that like if you play any of those games within the confines of property, it can pick it up and all those kind of things. So what are they doing? Because it's interesting now because, there was always money in college football, but now it's wide open that there's big money involved for the players in college football. So having said that, a player could see one guy cashing in. He's not. Well, how else can I cash in?
Right.
So I'm just wondering, what do you know about that? And what do you hear?
It's a great question, and a great topic. I think, last year people forget about this, but last year Iowa State had a bunch of players suspended for gambling. Their football program did, and it kind of disappeared after that a little bit. Iowa was another I think Iowa had some players as well. So clearly
Keith Sims was working numbers there at Iowa State.
He was. Look,
Keith,
I think
I love you, brother. All right, go ahead.
I think it's something that's going to definitely infiltrate college sports more and more because, as you said, there's a lot of guys who are not making money in NIL, whereas their teammates are. I got called in to help out with this story involving Temple basketball. The Athletic started digging in on that, and there were some sort of fishy reports coming out of Pennsylvania with Temple and their shooting percentages and their rebounding efforts and all kinds of stuff. So. Look, I think the NCAA is trying to talk to athletes about this. They do have sort of, I don't want to say symposiums, but they certainly have, every school has sort of a guest speaker that comes in and talks about gambling and why you shouldn't do it. And, the NCAA has their rules, but ultimately this is just about whether or not you get caught, right? And I think all of these guys have a lot of different avenues, a lot of people around them that certainly could do gambling on their behalf, right? Or give them a percentage of whatever it is that they make on their own bet. So it's something that is going to be monitored as we go forward. But I also think it's something that ultimately it's too big of an animal right now, I think, for them to really police. So, and I think you're going to start to see, ultimately it comes down to the casinos, right? And their involvement and what kind of, the betting apps, et cetera, how involved they're going to be in helping the NCAA out and passing along information and investigating this. I don't see this. This is big business for a lot of people, and ultimately, it's only going to matter if you get caught. And I don't know that a lot of people are getting caught.
And no, I know. Well, they don't get caught because they probably listen to Chris Carter, right?
Just in case y'all not going to decide to do the right thing, if y'all got a crew, you got to have a fall guy in the crew.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, you got to have that fall guy. So, and if it's not going to be Lee Majors, you're going to have to pick somebody else, So it is youngins, you have no idea what I just
They have no idea what you talked about. They think you're talking about the new movie that's coming out, by the way. That's what they're thinking about. The
That's
remake.
You have no idea what I just said. But anyways, it is what it is. No, because all this crap going on, and the Otani thing smells to hell. I mean, bro, this is
right.
Something's going to happen because there's going to be some independent investigating. Something's going to go on here with this Otani thing because it smells, dude. And he's the most important player in the damn sport. So it's like they're going to do everything to cover this shit up, bro.
Absolutely. Baseball needs all the help it can get, and this is the kind of press that does not help baseball whatsoever. To have their superstar, the best player in the game, hands down, right? It's not even a conversation. It's not even close. And
you and I have never seen this. We have never seen it. It's not a young thing. It's
right.
an old-timer thing, bro.
Right.
Not even. You have to go back and really look at Babe Ruth's stuff. Oh, no, Babe Ruth did it. No, actually, no, he did not. The more he batted, the less he pitched. As he became a full-time batter, they phased him out of pitching, actually. So nobody's ever done what this guy's done.
Yeah.
Nobody can do what he's ever done, actually. It's not what they've ever done. It's nobody can do what he's done. And so it's so freakish that, yeah, he's so important. Brother, they're out there in the Far East because this is a guy that's going to help you grow that damn game by taking it, to the Far East. And,
absolutely.
Yeah, making it even bigger because let's be honest, baseball's done growing in the United States.
Yeah, it's really sad how much the sport has really declined. I mean, that was my sport growing up here in South Florida and playing it at the parks, but to see the way football and basketball and every other sport has sort of taken off here in the last 20 or so years. To see how far baseball's fallen behind, this is something you certainly can't afford. Bringing back the whole gambling thing to college sports and the NCAA. Oh, as somebody who covered high schools down here for a long time in Miami, I mean, do you think about the amount of gambling that just went on with high school games? The times that I would quote unquote set the line, right? Every week I would make my high school picks for the high school football games. And I got to tell you, there were times when people wanted to assault me after the game because I picked Northwestern to win by 20 points and they only won by 10 or something, and that's the kind of craziness. And it was coaches on the sideline, by the way. This wasn't like this is coaches probably gambling on their own teams, asking me why I set the line.
Or you're putting some expectations out there. The kids read it, they get fat-headed, the others get motivated. So yeah, it's all the other shit that's tied to your prediction that gets into their crawl. So I can understand.
Right. And then the people gambling it literally in the stands. You see the money exchanging and the I mean, it's crazy. So do I expect it to happen in college sports? Absolutely. I think it certainly will creep in with NIL.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. Maybe that's an article to find out what they're doing to prevent that.
Yeah.
Because that's it's a growing problem. Obviously, it's something that we thought athletes understood. It was taboo, but it's just happening way too much now.
There's just less and less fear of the NCAA. There's just less and less fear, right? Like, I mean, all these rules keep getting shot down. So it's just more and more freedoms, and as they say, the Wild West.
All right, so Pringles chips are pretty good. Tell me a little bit about Gerard Pringle.
Yeah, one of the fastest, high school seniors to be in the country out of Seffner Armwood. I think ran a 10.56 in the 100 meter dash. I think it's the fourth fastest time among all the people in the high school football recruiting database for this cycle coming up. So, Miami wants to get more explosive players. Pringle ran for 1,600 yards, so he's a tough back. Saw a lot of 9-man front, still ran for 1,600 yards. So, Mario's recruiting continues to be at an elite level. He's not going to stop going after superstars, and that's how ultimately Miami gets back to being Miami. People can talk about, well, they've had talent, they've disappointed, yes, but they also haven't had this much talent on their roster in a few years. And I think little by little, you stack running backs who can run 10.5 in the 100 meter dash, you're going to get better. So good pickup for them, but they got to hold on to him now. It's one of those things. I told you this last week on the show. I said, this is the point where we're going to start to see more commitments, but the real question is, do they sign in early December?
Right. And by the way, was there any truth that Mike McDaniel was trying to borrow him at times? Because
That's his kind of guy for sure. His kind of guy for sure. Yeah, but the Pringle kid is interesting. Somebody asked me if his father played in the Canadian football. I got to find out the story with him. And
there was
Right.
yes, dude, he was one of the best returners.
Yep.
In the CFL, the Pringle guy. Yes, I remember him. In fact. And I don't follow the CFL, but you read enough, you end up running into headlines and they kind of stay in there. And I remember a Pringle tearing it up back in the day. In fact, he might have been right around the time of Jonathan Avery. How about that? I think Avery, oh, look, Manny froze. There we go. Is he unfreezing yet? Has he unfrozen? Frozen in time. Manny Navarro. Look at him. It's just he's staring. See, that's it. Like he can't really do that in real life. Just stare like that without blinking. See? That's the kind of face that wins in a poker match right there. You can't read it. You don't know what's going on. What kind of a hand does he have? Does he have a full house? Does he have nothing, just a pair of sixes? That kind of stuff. Look at that. In fact, he signed on another window so we can unfreeze. Look at that.
There we go. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know what happened, but
I don't know.
But
We still have a frozen window there. Like you will at his frozen window. Let's talk to Manny with Manny. Okay.
See? Yeah.
Oh, it disappeared. Oh, damn it. We had it for a moment there. Oh. What happened, Sean? Why did it disappear?
I don't know. It dropped finally.
Finally dropped?
Yeah, his name is Michael A. Pringle. Mike Pringle for the Canadian Football League.
Right.
And he played in the NFL. He was signed twice. It doesn't say anything about kids or anything.
Yeah, I got to get to the bottom of it, whether or not
it does say that he owns the Max Muscle thing now, so I don't know what that is.
Well, he's I know he went to school in California, and I think this
that's
kid
where he is. He's in Los Angeles.
Yeah, so maybe he's related to him somehow. Maybe it's an uncle, cousin, who knows.
Wasn't he a great returner in the CFL? Is that what it was, Sean?
A lot of speed. Great running back.
Wait a minute. I can't hear you, Sean. Can't hear you.
I'm coming in right now.
Okay, there you go.
He was voted number 4 in the CFL's top 50 players of the league's modern era by Canadian Sports Network.
Yeah, I remember him. And I want to say that he played in the same era with John Avery from here. The failed Dolphin draft pick.
Right.
He actually went to Canada and actually had a decent career and was a good returner there and all that. And I think Pringle and him played like in the same era of that. Jonathan Avery. Yeah, that was
one of the many great picks by the Dolphins, huh?
Yeah, no, Jimmy Johnson. Yeah, Jonathan Avery. Yeah, he picked Avery. And I remember Avery would have multi-flavored Kool-Aids in his locker room. Right. And he would get a jug of water and then load it up with a bunch of Kool-Aid. And we'd ask him, he goes, it's the only way I can stay up in meetings. And so, after locker rooms at that time, they would go into a meeting after that. And sure enough, you'd see John Avery walk in with a big old jug of water. And then he'd pick a different flavor out of his locker room and he'd load it up so he can have that sugar the entire time during the meeting. Because if not, Jimmy would have his ass if obviously he fell asleep. You know what I mean?
Those pre-Red Bull days, huh?
Yeah, pre-Red Bull days. Yeah. You need the real sugar before the Red Bull stuff. Yeah, crazy stuff. All right, what else you got going on in the athletics so folks can check you out?
Yeah, we're gonna have those all Florida and all Georgia teams for recruiting in the modern era coming out soon. My editor was finishing it up this weekend, so that'll be coming out soon. And I'm gonna be going to Miami on Thursday to go watch some of the Canes practice. I'll do like a little mid-camp report. People, want information constantly on what's happening out there, and it's like, dude, they're just practicing. Like it's
show you anything, right? Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, other than seeing Cam Ward throw the ball, which it looks great when he throws the ball. you just look at the roster and you say, well, there's a lot of important key guys out that that had surgery or that are coming off injury, and then there's a bunch of freshmen that aren't going to probably play. That's what you're watching. You're watching the future essentially. So, but I will say this for the Miami fans and the college football fans in general. I think April 15th, that new window, get ready. There's going to be a lot of player movement in college football. Guys that could be good players leaving Miami or coming to Miami or Florida State or whatever. You're going to see a lot of player movement, and it's just the way college football is now. You have these two windows.
Is there a position we as Canes fans should be looking at that they might be going after?
Well, I think certainly somewhere in the secondary, after losing Cam Kitchens and James Williams, I think safety is a position that you could see them address. I think running back, they had one of their guys leave in the middle of camp, right? Their leading rusher the last 2 years, Henry Parrish. I think running back, and if there's an experienced running back who becomes available, the way Mario looks at it, and for the fans who get disappointed with this, right, and see players leave and go, and hey, this guy just got here, they just recruited him, or hey, this guy just transferred in last year. What I would tell you is Mario's not trying to just build the roster up. He's trying to win a championship. He's trying to make a championship roster, and the easiest way to do that is the best players in the portal. And if they become available and Miami can buy them and get them to come here, that's something he's going to explore. And so I think you're going to see a lot of player movement in the second, third week of April.
All right, there you go. Follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro, and make sure you subscribe to The Athletic. Manny, as always, thank you, my brother. Appreciate you.
All right, brother. Good talking to you. Take care.
You got it. All right, don't forget, folks, Caneswear. If you go personally to 2655 South University Drive in Davie, you can use our code BIG010. You will get 10% off. And if you go online, well, you can, if you order over $99, you'll get free shipping. And you use our code BIG010, you will get 10% off at Caneswear.com.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at Caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
All right. Mr. Spock says situational football in 2024 season, McDaniel needs to be the best version of himself. Don't get cute on short yardage situations. Amen to that. When the president of El Salvador has done with crime and the economy is amazing. Well, Oscar, you can now go to El Salvador to go hang out, go vacation. Maybe you want to open up a business. Maybe El Salvador might be a good place to open up a business because El Salvador is a place that's just growing now. What Bukele did there. Now, some people will tell you he might have gone to a little bit of an extreme, but unfortunately, it's really tough in this world to try to do the right thing without doing the wrong thing at times, right? And what I mean by that is you clean the streets up in El Salvador, you get rid of all the gang violence. It was the murder capital of the world. You are now one of the safest countries in the world, okay? But you had to take drastic measures. And unfortunately, some people probably did get caught up in the whole thing that maybe didn't deserve to get caught up in it. And I'll give you a different extreme and then the polar opposite example of it. Okay? And I'll explain it. Right now, Israel's in the middle of a war with Hamas, and they're in the middle of it. They're also killing a ton of innocent Palestinians. Okay? Because there happens to be a ton of innocent Palestinians stuck in the middle of all of this. Okay? But the only way to get rid of Hamas is by completely stripping it to the bone and making sure that you get rid of all of it, right? But now Israel's creating problems for themselves because now they're creating more hate. And this is why that whole area has always been like this for 1,000 years. And you're not going to change it because now you ruin so many Palestinians' lives. How are they ever going to, like the Jews. They're not, right? The polar opposite. Some of you out there, like a buddy of mine asked me the other day, it was like about a month and a half ago, he told me, bro, why don't we just go into Yemen and blow the place up and get rid of all those Houthis? And I go to him, yeah, we could do that easily. But why do you think we haven't done it? Oh, no, because we're wussies. Well, I'm not here to defend Biden, whatever. But the reason why they haven't done it, why? It's because the Yemen people are like the Palestinian people. And there's a lot of Palestinian people that aren't Gaza. And there's a lot of Yemen people that have nothing to do with the Houthis. So if the United States goes into Yemen and starts blowing everything up, then we start creating one of those crises that now the world is up against Israel now because of the famine and everything going on there. So we're avoiding that mess, and we deal with the Houthis the way we have to because we don't want to go in there and start killing innocent Yemen people who are poor, have nothing, dude. They're like, they're like Cuban people. They got nothing, bro. They're just at the whims of powerful people. Cuba and the government, they're the Houthis. In Palestine, it's Gaza. What are you going to do? We have people all over the world. Russians are in jail because Putin is your leader. You have no freedoms in that country. It's just a big country that's a giant jail. So is North Korea. And so what El Salvador did, it went to an extreme, but it had to go to that extreme in order to completely rebuild the entire country. For the better of the entire country, they had to do it. And they did the right thing. And he's done the right thing, on Bitcoin and all that. Now, is it perfect? Is the system perfect? No, it's not perfect. But it's a hell of a lot better where they were, where your life was on the line every day of your life. That's terrible. Terrible where El Salvador was. Now it's fantastic. Shit, some of you can go retire now and buy a house on the coast there. By the way, they're out of the hurricane zone too, which is pretty cool, I think. Right? Anyway, so yeah, what he's done is amazing. But it's crazy, man. Just crazy stuff. Everything that goes on in the world, man. There's so much craziness going on in the world. Poor Haiti. They can't get anything right. You know what I mean? And violence is always, it's interesting with Haiti. It's a country that was brought together violently. You know that? I don't know if you guys know this, but like a funky stat here, in the United States, they brought over 500,000 slaves from Africa. The French brought over 800,000 slaves to Haiti. It's number one in the world. No one brought more slaves over. No one imported more slaves than them. And then they were the French were such the minority that then the revolt happened and all the slaves took over the island. But then happened the reparations, and then they tore down all their trees and deforestation, and and then they've had one bad leader after another, and it's been a mess. And then violently they attacked the Dominican Republic. That's why the Dominican Republic will never help Haiti, because they attacked the Dominican Republic. They actually held the Dominican Republic for a while. Haitians actually controlled the Dominican Republic for a while, and that's a memory that they'll never forget. And that's why that's why the Dominicans are building a wall. That's why they will have nothing to do with the Haitians, because of their past. Because you already attacked us. And look what happens now. Now the gangs take over, and what are they doing? Hurting their own people. It's just that country has been so violent. It just doesn't stop. It's crazy. And it's almost like you need a Bukele there also, to kind of like clear everything out and clean it out and let people start anew. It's crazy. This stuff that goes on in the world, if you keep up with it, which I know most people don't, because it's kind of boring, but it's just screwed up, man. Screwed up. What else do we have going on here? Yeah, the hip tackle, the hip drop tackle. I talked about it yesterday. I love that they eliminated it. I think it's great. Just for you younger guys out there, Lee Majors was in the TV series Fall Guy. He was also on Big Valley. Yeah, that's right. The Big Valley. Yeah. Some beautiful women in the Big Valley. Let's see what else. Pringle, great running back in the CFL. Yep. As a kid in the early 80s, when Bionic Woman would come on TV, I just stare at the screen the entire show. The lady was a total smoke show. Lindsay Wagner. I remember Lindsay Wagner. Let's see. What are you saying? It was the Portuguese and the British that brought it to Haiti? I think it was the French. It was the French, bro, because it's the French island, and then they had to pay the French back, unless you're talking about something else. What else? The 1970s was a great time to watch television. It was more creative and not boring at all. France had control of Haiti, hence the speak French. Yeah, of course, exactly. Yeah. It's the French. You got your history mixed up there, Rosendo. So the French were the ones that brought them over. But anyway, so crazy stuff, man. By the way, good news for you all out there. McDonald's is now going to start selling Krispy Kreme donuts. Okay? So if you're a big Krispy Kreme fan and you know, sometimes you don't have a Krispy Kreme next to you, this is one hell of a deal for Krispy Kreme, by the way. Right? Because there aren't Krispy Kreme donuts everywhere. You know, but there's a McDonald's everywhere. So they're going to sell Krispy Kreme donuts at its restaurants nationwide by the end of 2026. The rollout will start in the second half of this year, but it will take roughly 2.5 years as Krispy Kreme more than doubles its distribution to satisfy the partnership for the duration of the agreement. McDonald's will be the exclusive fast food partner for Krispy Kreme in the U.S. Shares of Krispy Kreme soared 24% in the morning of trading Tuesday after the announcement. The stock is on track for its best day ever. All right? So there you go. The partnership with McDonald's is a major opportunity for Krispy Kreme to expand its reach. It delivers its donuts to 6,800 third-party stores as of December 31st. McDonald's has 13,500 restaurants in the U.S. and plans to open 900 new locations by 2027. Damn. We're enjoying donuts that much more? Impressive. Impressive. What else do we have going on? By the way, L'Jarius Sneed ended up signing his contract with the Tennessee Titans. 4 years, $76.4 million, $55 million guaranteed. Okay. What else do we have? Let me give you birthdays today. Let's see. Danielle Bregoli, the Cash Me Outside girl, she's 21. Diana Ross is 80. Keira Knightley is 39. Steven Tyler, 76. Kenny Chesney is 56. Nancy Pelosi, that thief, is 84. Leonard Nimoy, rest in peace, born in 31. We lost him in 2015. Martin Short is 74 years old. Paige Spiranek is 31. Good old Paige. What a smoke show, dude. Smoke shows of smoke shows. Von Miller is 35. James Caan. Love him as an actor, bro. Born in 1940 on this day. We lost him in 2022. Bless you, my brother. Rest in peace. Juvenile, the rapper, is 49. Jennifer Gray is 64. This is a hell of a list, dude. Not bad. Pretty good list of birthdays today. Now let's go with music history. On March 26, in 1986, on this date, Geffen signed a Los Angeles band by the name of Guns N' Roses. In 65, on this date, Rolling Stones, Mick Jagger, Bill Wyman, and Brian Jones all got electric shocks from faulty microphones during a gig in Denmark. Wyman was so bad he was unconscious for a few minutes. In 95, Soundgarden's iconic album, Super Unknown, debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200. In 2002, former Ozzy Osbourne and Motley Crue drummer Randy Castillo died from cancer. In 2006, U2's The Edge donated his guitar, a 75 Gibson Les Paul, to a charity he co-founded to help replace instruments lost or destroyed in Hurricane Katrina. In 77, Hall & Oates' Rich Girl was the number 1 song in the country. And in 2000, Phil Collins won the Oscar for the best original song for his tune, You'll Be in My Heart, which is on the soundtrack to the Disney animated film Tarzan. There you go. And what else? By the way, AC/DC has announced their opening act for their European tour, and it's going to be Pretty Reckless. So that's a pretty cool thing for Pretty Reckless to get that. I can't wait for AC/DC to announce their North American tour because I want to see them here. I got to see them one more time. This is the, they haven't toured since 2016. So that's a long time, man. And this will be the last time I see them for sure. I've seen them several times, but I'd like to see them one more time. Remember, folks, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. Lenny says, more calories for my belly, baby. I'm all for Krispy Kreme donuts. You go, McDonald's. Now we can get our fill and our salt, sugar, fats all in one fell swoop. That's right. Puff, puff, donut, coffee, Hooter, and a Big O Show. I'm all in. Linda Evans. Yes, in the Big Valley. Yes, 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 yes. Linda Evans. Beautiful. Jesus, she is so gorgeous. Let's see. The president of El Salvador had no choice but to take extreme stand on the crime issue. The gang problem was out of control for decades now. Would have turned into another Haiti. No, he did the right thing. You have no choice. That's what I just said. Haiti needs what happened to El Salvador. A strong hand to take over that actually is going to do something positive and create a good environment for people, which is what he's doing. It's freaking safe now, dude. Everybody can have a job. Everybody can go out at night. Like, go watch videos of El Salvador now. I'm actually dying to go to El Salvador just to do that slide, the colorful slide that they have in that. It's like a restaurant, actually. It's actually a restaurant, but they also have that slide part of it. So it's pretty cool. Now you get on that inner tube and then you slide down. But then, they're making it a destination for, tourists and stuff like that. So Bukele did an excellent job there in El Salvador. He got rid of all that scum, all of it. And that was super smart on his part. His people are safe now, man, and free and all that. Now, there are still things that he hasn't freed up yet, so he hasn't loosened all restrictions. But where they were and where they are now, night and day. Night and day. You could never go to visit El Salvador. And if you were El Salvadorian, if you're a Salvadorian person, you would never had a chance to go. You go visit your relatives. You're putting your life on the line. Now you can go vacation. You can go hang out. You can go visit your friends, family. You can go do business. And there's not a damn problem. And it's awesome. That's pretty cool, man. It's good for people to have a safe environment. And at least he's provided that. So it ain't easy, man. It ain't easy. If you look like just look at some of the examples you just talked about. The world's a screwed up place. It just is. Orlando, my best friend is Palestine. The Israeli army told civilians to take shelter in certain schools and then bombarded the school, killing his cousin, a teacher, and her kids. Yeah, Joey, the problem that's happened is that the Israelis hate the Palestinians. And that's all there is in that part of the world. It's just hate. Hate for each other's religions, hate for each other's nationalities, hate for whatever. And so it's just been like this for 1,000 years. And what's going on here is just going to continue it. Now, I understand that Israel had to do what they had to do because they got attacked. But now you've taken it to such an extreme that it creates even more problems, and it's just a vicious cycle. And you think there aren't going to be Palestinians that are going to want revenge? Of course. This is a terrible situation, dude. Nobody wins. Nobody wins here. Nobody wins. And when the world is watching people starve to death, it's not a good look, dude. It's not a good look. That's why we don't attack Yemen. Because we would then create the same problem. Yeah, you would eliminate the Houthis, but at the same time, you would be killing a lot of innocent Yemen people who are poor and don't have a pot to piss in. They barely have money. They barely have any money. They barely have any food. And you're going to now destroy the place that whatever they have left. That's what Israel's done to the innocent Palestinians. And so it's a disaster. It's a disaster. Yeah. Yeah. You know, I totally understand what Israel had to do, but it gets to a point where, man, look what's going on now. You know, it's really, really bad. And it's just cycle. It'll just be a vicious cycle. This won't be the end of it. When this ends, eventually down the line, we're going to have some more attacks, unfortunately. You know, it is what it is. Randy Castillo, drummer with Ozzy Osbourne band, died of cancer. Yes, he did. We just talked about it, A-Rod. We just talked about it right now. Just mentioned it. So, anyway, folks, light show today. Not really a lot to talk about. And so, you know, I'm not the one that creates fake controversies. I just don't do that kind of stuff. We thank David Furones, Manny Navarro. We thank, of course, Sean Stanley, the man, the myth, the legend that masters his entire platform every single day. We will see you tomorrow morning. Same time, same place, same bat channel. Have a great one.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.